Pink ladies, T-birds, just happen to be watchers of my My name is Jimmi Pynk, and welcome to my official second channel, Nostalgia Mask. And what we're doing over here on this channel is basically discussing nostalgic things. So, reboots, old TV shows, old movies. We're not going to be talking about too much new here unless it is a reboot or a reimagining or an adaptation, which, let's face it, these days is everything. As this is starting a new channel, I guess I got to get back on my YouTube gig to tell you, please like, subscribe, turn your notification bell on. Also, I do have my own website, which is nostalgiamask.com. We specialize in all things 80s and 90s, and I just happen to be having on some of my available merchandise now with my Pink Ladies Pledge t-shirt and my custom mug. Jimmy, that's me. Okay, so let's get into it. Couple of things I want to start off very quickly with. There probably will be a full video essay of this show and how it compares to Grease once the whole series is out. But as of right now, let me just tell you, I know a lot about Grease. Okay? So, the first thing I want to say before we go any further about the series, because I know a lot of people that are reviewing it, you know which ones I'm talking about. Those ones that want to be like, oh, they're being woke again. Listen. The whole story of Grease, from the play in Chicago, to Broadway, to the movie, to Grease 2, to this, is about the outcast. Okay? It has never not been about class. It has never not been about sex, gender. It's never not been about these things. So, I'm not going to say who it was. I just looked to see if there were any other reviews up yet. And one of the person, the thumbnail was like, the girl bossification, Paramount ruins another. That's not what this is. The story is about the Pink ladies in the 50s, where girls were worried about their reputation and were treated differently because they were females. This is in Grease 1. This is for sure in Grease 2. It's here, okay? It's here. It is the story about the girl gang. And the start of the girl gang. Did you think it wasn't going to have anything about female empowerment? Anyway, let's talk about the negative things that I don't like first. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert. I'm going to jump right out the gate with our main character, Jane. What I do not like is they made Frenchie her little sister. Now, why I don't like this, and I'm no social justice warrior, I will say there are some things that are a little bit quote-unquote woke, which is not what woke meant, and I wish people would stop saying that. But here's the problem where I have them introducing Frenchie as our main character, Jane's little sister. There is a through line going on that you will see on episode 1 and part of episode 2. I'm really just going to talk about episode 1 right now. There is a through line that she is biracial. She is half Puerto Rican and half Italian. Her Puerto Rican mother, and they're from New York. Her Puerto Rican mother is really trying so hard to like eliminate anything about his spirit. Like, the mother is so like, everything you do reflects on us, and we're trying to fit in here, and we're leaving all of that in New York. Like, one of the very first scenes, we see the little sister. We are not aware that it's French yet, even though the voice will give you a clue, but I didn't catch that the first time I watched it. Um, and she's talking about her friend Betty, who is Rizzo, and she wants to get her ears pierced. And she's explaining to her mother, "But mom, you had your ears pierced in the morning." "Well, that's how they did it in Puerto Rico, honey. We're in America now. This is not New York. We're not doing that anymore." And she then begins to plead with her in Spanish. And the mother stops her and tells her, "Don't speak Spanish." The problem that I have with that, because I'm sure that is a story, again, this is set in the 50s. I'm sure that is something that probably was around and assimilating, like children can possibly pass. That would make Frenchie canonically half Puerto Rican. And I did my research because I'm like, well, I do remember in the movie Didi Khan having a little bit more color to her, which can easily just be a tan or Italian. There's 52 skin tones in the world. I looked, so I said, well, maybe Didi Khan is half Hispanic. No, she's not. So now all of a sudden, what I feel like they're not realizing about this series, and some of it they do really well, and then some of it is stuff like that where it's like, you are a prequel. So that means what you do here now becomes canon to the source material. And that bothered me. That bothered me. Um, that bothered me. It just did. Another thing that I do not like is our character of Olivia. Our character Olivia gets her bad reputation for some weird teacher student inappropriate behavior. That again, didn't we learn from Pretty Little Liars that is like so gross? But at the same time, I do see, because the basis of the show is when we are introduced to the Pink Ladies and we're introduced to the badasses that they are in Grease 1 and Grease 2, they're kind of already bad girls. They're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing what they do. They're wearing the sexier silhouettes and things like that. These girls were not bad girls. They are all here by reputation. So our main character is lied on because she's a new student, and she falls in love with the quarterback and the student president and all of these things, and she's going to be popular this year, and then she gets lied on and says she goes all the way, and she's hugely embarrassed at this pep rally, which I also thought was kind of a lot, because the pep rally was in front of parents and everything, and I was like, wow, these girls are like way meaner than like Patty Simcox ever was, or like the cheerleading twins in Grease 2, because we have our socias and our greasers. If you've watched anything that's set in the 50s with this aesthetic, The Outsiders, you know all of this already. So we have that dynamic a lot stronger here, but you have to have a lot stronger of an antagonist because this is not a 2-hour movie. This is a series. So that did have to be established. Opening number, it's free on YouTube. The first episode is actually free on YouTube as well if you want to check it out. And I do recommend it. I have to mention this right now because I'm going to go into my third thing that kind of bothered me. And it happens in episode 2 too. So they open the show very reminiscent of the original Grease movie. A little bit more risque. It's, like I said, our lead character, which his name is Jane, and Buddy Aldrich, which is her love interest. She's going to have 2 because leader of the T-Birds, love this. I can't wait to get into that. But Buddy Aldrich. and they're in the car making out, you know, teenagers down in the 50 lookout point type of deal. And she realizes she's a nerd and he's like the most popular guy in school. And she's like, hey, this was a great little summer fling secret relationship. Thank you for the best summer of my young life. This is what I want to do. When we get back to school, I would like to run for student council. I'd like for you to help me because we make a great team. Because they plan the pep rally. We make a great team. But I hope that we can still stay friends. She is just like gung-ho. Like, I'm a nobody. I'm a nerd. I'm not popular. You're obviously not going to date me. Well, he did. He asked her to go steady. Is this the end? No, it's only the beginning. There's a lot of nods to the original Grease. A lot. But they're done a lot more subtle than you think. The number that probably everybody is familiar with, if you're even watching this, they're interested in this show, is they do the opening number with Grease is the word. I like it. I feel like it was a necessary evil. If you're going to jump out the gate and hit a property, a franchise as iconic as Grease, who has diehard fans, not saying that like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and all of those ones don't. But this one is a little bit more special because there is not a whole lot of Grease. We haven't had anything else Grease since 1982. Except outside of like the live musical. But we haven't had anything, you know, Grease 2 was the last like official in the franchise, not a redo of the Broadway show or anything like that. So I felt like it was smart to do the opening number as the theme song to Grease because it's iconic, everybody knows it. However, I never really realized how much the words to Grease don't have very much to do with Grease.